2009 Red Bull New Year No Limit, 269 feet from the Long Beach Pier onto a barge floating in the Pacific Ocean. I hope they gave the barge captain a heads up. We wouldn't want to surprise people. Look at that!
Yeah, because the adrenaline was not enough to just jump the car. Number 4, Danny Way. This is China in July of 05. Of course you have to jump over the Great Wall on a skateboard. Duh. What else are you supposed to do when you're in China?
Look at that. Look at the
55 miles an hour down a 65-foot incline. I just have to laugh at this point.
How about Jed Milton in New Zealand, 2011, a triple backflip BMX bike, the first one ever. We had this on Sports Nation. I think we ran this for about 2 weeks.
That's right. Because it doesn't count unless it's on the internet. He's had over 8 million views on YouTube.
8 million.
8 million. Number 2, oh yay, Robbie Maddison, of course. This is the Arc de Triomphe in Las Vegas in 2008. The motorcycle 96 feet into the air on top.
Freaked me out watching this.
Now, did you watch this, as you like to say, live?
I watched it live. I was in Vegas about 2 weeks ago, driving past that. It's just remarkable he had the guts to do that. And number 1, Travis Pastrana, about 5 years ago, X Games in Los Angeles, landed the first ever double backflip in competition in the Moto X best trick. Now this is a guy.
Yeah, he's
moving now into.
He doesn't like to sit still, to say the very least.
And he's wants to move into NASCAR.
He will be moving into NASCAR in the year 2012, which is just, I don't know, 30 minutes away on the East Coast.
He
also happens to
tonight.
be right there, tweeting / texting / doing whatever it is the young kids are doing these days on the smartphones. People around here are looking fabulous. They're looking sassy. It is, in fact, New Year's Eve.
By the way, the fog has been reduced dramatically. We look to our left and see the ramp.
We can actually see the ramp.
It has cleared significantly in the last 15 minutes.
That is good news, and hopefully it will stay that way for a while. When we come back, we will bring you the story of Robbie Maddison. This is Red Bull New Year No Limit.
It's not about the stage, it's not about how many people see it, it's great, but it's not the motivation that drives me. There's this passion, there's a motivation to go and do crazy jumps, and I'd like to think of this New Year's as the start of a new era for me. I want to do some of the stuff that I know I'm capable of doing, and it's things that haven't been done yet. At this point in the game, we're about 3 weeks out from the jump itself, and there's a lot weighing up on me. There's been some testing that's gone down, and with that we've achieved some goals, but at the same time some things have gone wrong. The last jump that I did, we blew a wheel out. Could have been catastrophic. It could have ended really bad. And with 3 weeks to kind of think about it, the gestation period is pretty much going to drive me insane. Staying focused and calm, it's a little bit of a mind trick for me. Everything has to be 100% perfect at this point in the game. If I leave the ramp and I haven't got equal weight on the bike, it's going to change the way the bike flies. With so much airtime and jumping such a large distance, the result, if everything isn't perfect, could be catastrophic at the other end. If you overlook one of the small factors, it could be my last jump. And I don't want that.
Well, the advantage for Robbie Maddison is he's been on this stage before, this type of pressure, 07, 08. Right now, Jamie Little is going to get his thoughts. He says he likes to have neutral thoughts, Jamie, as he's heading into a night like tonight.
Yes, he does, and as you mentioned, this is his 3rd New Year No Limit, so we know how focused and calm you can be. But there's a lot of moisture out there. There's a tarp over your whole run, and how is that impacting your preparation?
At this point it is what it is. That's my whole philosophy. I've done the training. I trust in my mechanic, my bike, the whole team around me, the setup here, and it's a bit of a shame for sure, but we did some testing yesterday, and in the slippery conditions, the bike here, it's Joe Gibbs Racing tuned engine. It's got so much horsepower. I'm 5th gear pinned, and then when I hit the wet spot, it just started wheel spinning. So we don't want to take any risk when it wheel spun.
Jump across that, and then some. Also the equivalent of 4 basketball courts. That really doesn't make sense. And then how about if we shackatize it for you? Yeah, that's how many shacks would have to be lined up vertically for this to happen. For Robbie, he will not be happy underneath 400 feet. And look at how far we span when we do that. Four and a third basketball courts, and then we'll line up 7'1" Shaq. I can imagine Shaq smiling right now that he's a part of this course description. But there you have it. It doesn't really make sense to average humans, but Levi and Robbie.
As now Robbie gets his turn. Cameron, we talked about the fact that he wasn't able to get in as much practice as he would normally prefer this week because of condensation, and then an altered schedule of events tonight with the tarp on his side of this course.
And listening to the course workers there telling him a couple speed runs. We already heard that from Robbie. Now what he's looking for is a smooth drop-in over this 50-foot tall run-in ramp, and he's trying to get straight. Now we saw earlier some previous footage of him having a little bit of drift in that rear tire, so he wants to be as straight as possible and also start banging the gears as he gets to the bottom of the drop-in ramp. Now he will get to third gear right at the bottom of the drop-in ramp. He will already be in fifth gear when he gets alongside of where Levi's position is to drop in. So he has 1,600 feet of total run-in space to get to that desired, as you heard him say, 110 miles an hour.
You marvel at this course setup.
waiting on you for a carpet roll.
Dropped up high, 50 feet above the water on that scaffolding.
And it looks like a piece of expanded metal there as well, right on the drop-in. We'll see how that works for traction as well.
Drop in, and then the run-up of 1,400 feet. You heard him tell Jamie Little the desired speed he wanted to see on this run test. And then, of course, he would love to have 110. Anything 106 and over for the actual jump he feels good about. Here he goes. So that is the first speed run of the evening for Robbie Maddison, and it comes after midnight on the East Coast. That was not the original plan. As he will listen in to crew chief Alex Ewing, and he'll assess the situation. There's his buddy Levi Lavallee warming up himself as he gave him the thumbs up. Remember, this isn't just one man going after a world record. This is side-by-side, simultaneous dual jump for both world records at the same time. They're going to time it out with Robbie 200 feet in back of Levi, and then they will head towards that gap of 300 feet and go to their desired marks.
And it looks like Levi jogging all the way down as Robbie will take another run. It looks like maybe a little bit of drift there, but getting great traction, especially that first time in.
They clocked him on that first run at 97 miles per hour.
Wow. So he's getting what he's looking for, which is the good news. We heard him mention 98 miles an hour, so very close. And we'll see what this speed comes out at. And there's, the wheelie always tells me that there's a comfort level there.
He's feeling good, Cameron. He said 98 is absolutely ideal. 97 is right there where he wants to be in that range. Hopes to reach 109, 110. Has to be over 106, he says, in order to get that mark of 400 feet. And once again, the second run came in being clocked at 97 miles per hour.
Well, the good thing about that is the consistency. Getting close to the speed he wants, I mean, within a mile per hour, but also being consistent and hitting it both times. That is part of what Robbie is really trying to do when he's sussing out this run, and is making sure he's smoothly through the gears and getting the drive that he really is looking for.
They are under 5 minutes to go now as Maddison has accomplished both speed runs. You saw the 5'6", 155-pound dynamite Levi Lavallee there, now making his way up that 20-foot drop-in ramp to meet his snowmobile. He's going to attempt to break the record of 361 feet. And once again, to explain what happens, the difference between the Yamaha YZ450F compared to the Polaris. The Polaris has to cool off for about 17 minutes after his speed run. So you see the crew chief there, Glenn Kafka and his team, making those final arrangements, letting it cool down, getting it primed for Levi Lavallee.
And the snow is a part of the cooling equation normally. So no snow equals a different setup. So it's not unusual for them to run on different surfaces, but it is something needed to cool before he can go back out. So right now, cooling the sled, and Robbie, the traction was really the question. And we had seen video, we talked about it, of him stepping out just a bit on his drop-in, but so far he has been looking great here, and it looks like he'll be taking another speed run.
Third speed run for Maddison now. We listen for those gear changes, Cameron. He starts off actually at the top of that 50-foot drop-in, just hovering in second gear, and then drops into third gear to try to optimize, and every second counts when you're trying to reach that 109, 110.
Very true as Robbie sights the takeoff, and you saw the tuck position that he was in. In the past, Robbie has untucked before he got to his takeoff, and he's been jumping with a new style, staying tucked all the way through the takeoff. And he told me that at the same speed, when he was up in that 300-foot range, gained him 40 feet in distance. Wow. Just by staying in the tuck longer than he had in the past. So, of course, the body working as a kite, as does the motorcycle, but staying down in the tuck, giving him more distance.
Trying to be in that attack position for as long as possible before launching off the ramp. Just an unbelievable scene here. This course constructed at the Embarcadero Marina Park in downtown San Diego. A happy new year to everybody on the East Coast as we marvel at what we're about to see here on the West Coast. Red Bull New Year, no limits. Levi Lavallee and Robbie Maddison. Maddison, the goal is 400 feet. It was only a few years ago that we were wowed by 322 feet. And oh, how far they have come. Evel Knievel, his longest successful jump back in 1975, just 133 feet. A world record ready to be conquered. Two men, two world records, one shining shared moment of glory. Here it is. What a scene! Levi Lavallee, Robbie Maddison, they conquered their goals here in San Diego. The measurement for Levi Lavallee, which is stunningly far beyond expectations.
What do we get? Do we beat 261?
412.
Shut up! Yeah. Shut up! Yeah.
You heard him whisper the distance. 412 was the news delivered to Levi Lavallee. 412 feet. Meanwhile, Robbie Maddison just to the side of Lavallee as they ran parallel through the night here at the marina.
Woo! Nice, dude. Oh, awesome.
That final release as those anxious moments are whisked away.
it's you never know, and we made a lot of changes. We lifted the ramp up a degree, and I softened my suspension. We got different wheels on the bike. There's a lot of changes that went into it, and the roll-in was one thing, but all in all, the whole setup was changed. So I was shaking at the knees, and it was just it's one of those things. But to turn around and land safely, and we broke the world record on this jump, so it's all good. I'm stoked.
Valiant effort, one to be proud of. Go enjoy the evening, your new year with your son, Cruz. Let's go over to Sound Master Kayla with Levi.
Thank you very much, Jamie. 412 feet, my dude.
Is that more than 361?
I think it's a little bit more than 361. All week, your attitude was so calm and collected. I remember yesterday you asked our producer how he was doing. How were you able to keep your mindset
on the skis, but kept it straight when he dropped in, which was so key?
And then the takeoff from that run-up.
And of course, Robbie looking completely straight. Looked like he started to drift just a little bit. There was a tiny amount of side wind, it felt like, as they took off. And you can see he comes out for the landing at 378. Levi carrying on into the 400 range. 412 feet, absolutely amazing. And as he said, he felt like he was really straight, and he felt like he went to the right just a little bit, talking about Levi as he comes in here. We'll see if we can see it, which we don't. It looked like he was straight, maybe a little correction right at the top, but Levi really nailed it when it comes to going straight down the runway and off the ramp.
What did it feel like to be on that sled? Here it is in real time.
And from the sled, you can really see it drift to the right as you went on the takeoff.
And from the bottom of that landing area, of course, keep in mind the team and the crew, how anxious they are for moments. They put so much into the preparation and the equipment and the engineering of the course design. And Robbie Maddison's family, his parents, his wife Amy, meanwhile Levi Lavallee, his fiance Kristen, and now for Robbie, also a father, as you saw him instantly embrace his son Cruz, the moment to celebrate.